Alright, first 8 doctors. Um, I get why. I get why they paced them like that. I probably would have spread the doctors out more. Um, like is what there's 13. Well, technically there's already. All right, so we got 14. I don't know. Is Tenet gonna count as 14 again with that new spin out? Like, I don't know. Why can't this? Oh, I hate that texture. I hate that sound. I really hate these boxes so much. Wizards, stop using them. I hate this. I like the pull. Ugh, it just grosses me out. This texture is just gross. Ugh. It's like I can taste it in my mind. I hate it. All right. Boxes aside. Oh, there's Sarah Jane Smith. Such a pretty lady. Really dolled her up for that one. Alright. Inches die. So it's got Fourth Doctor. Who's like, he's Tom Baker's pretty much like the favorite of the classics. Like the first four Doctors all have like first 3 Doctors all have cult followings, but Tom Baker is like the guy. And then Pete Davidson, who's the 5th Doctor, is also a big fan favorite. But he was like the young guy, the handsome guy, right? As handsome as a British dude can be. But then like the 6th Doctor kind of gets a bad rap. And then the 7th Doctor has a cult following, even though he's not. Oh, those have got some real bend to them. Alright. Pyramid of Mars. Caught in a parallel universe. Oh no. Oh no. Lethbridge Stewart's a bad guy. Guardians of the Twinkle Repose. Spectrox Mines. Coal Hill School. That's where she was. The unit headquarters. The Cheetah Planet. So Anarch Research Base. Cave of Skulls. TARDIS Bay. Pyramid of Mars. We go on a plane chase. I need to get sleeves. Alright. Just gonna crack this guy open because I'm curious. Yasmin Khan. Carpet of Flowers. Did I not smoke enough cigarettes? Like, is it because I'm not a smoker? I hate these cellophane packets. All I can think of is my dad's mom's cigarettes growing up. Alright. Doctor Who. Cardboard cutout. Sarah Jane and the 4th Doctor. How to Play. Romana 2. Joe Grant. Oh man, these are some old school. Tegan. Barbara Wright. Ian Chesterton. The Teachers. Harry Brown. Crisis of Conscience. Oh, man. Deep shit. Caves of Eldrazi. The War Games. Trial of a Time Lord. The Night of the Doctor. Oh, Jesus. This was a 5-minute short. And they went there. Oh, it's so badass. Eternity, Canine Mark 1, Edric, Nissa, Reverse Polarity, 500-Year Diary, An Earthly Child, Leela, Ace, Susan, The Five Doctors. That was a special. Jamie McCrimmon. The Sea Devils, City of Death, Gallifrey Stands. Oh, nice. There they all are. Alistar, the Brigadier General, the First Doctor, the Second Doctor, the Third Doctor, the Fifth, the Sixth, Seventh, Eighth. That's him right at the end. Physician, heal thyself. God. Vestin, Curse of Phrenic, Sergeant John Benton, Dugan, Private Detective, Temple of Enlightenment, Fortified Village, Perry Stream, Canopy Village, Temple of Plenty, Integrated Farmland. Oh. Bessie the Doctor's Roadster. Oh God, Third Doctor. Ace's baseball bat. Nice. Gallifrey Council Chamber, Day of Destiny, Heroic Intervention. I've come a long way for you, exclaimed the Sixth Doctor. Naturally, don't expect any thanks, replied the Second. Time Wipe. Heroes Podium. Trenzalore Clock Tower. Twice Upon Time. Oh, that's pretty. Beach. That's funny. Aww. Time Lord Regeneration. Displaced Dinosaurs. Another Sonic Screwdriver. Oh, Swords to Plowshares. Nice. Trying to dust. 3 visits. For the third special. Talisman of Unity. Hero's Blade. Talisman of Progress. Thought Vessel. Oh, Thriving Grove. Thriving Heath. Ash Barrens. Command Tower. That's a different command tower. Food. Clue, treasure, copy, mutant, alien insect, soldat, alien salamander. Nice. Alright, I'll get this done up, sleeved up, and I'll let you guys know how it went. Alright, so Blast from the Past. This ended up being my favorite of the 4 decks to play. I think the Masters of Evil is a better constructed deck overall. It's more of a magic deck. Or this one is kind of a jack of all trades, but there's several win cons. So let's just start with the cons. The bad part about this deck is it's several decks shuffled together. Like there's several win cons. There's like something like 900 commander combinations or some shenanigans. Like this deck has a lot going on, and depending on who you pick as your commander, you can have a good time or a bad time. So, like, the default commander pairings is the 4th Doctor, or he's like, you may look at the top card of your library in time. Once each turn, you play a historic land or historic spell from the top of your library. When you do, you create a food token. You just have card advantage all the time. It works really well. Sarah Jane is, whenever you cast a historic spell, investigate. Spell triggers only once per turn. So, in theory, you could look at the top card with the 4th Doctor, cast it, and get a food and a clue token. And there's stuff down the line into the deck that uses food and clue tokens. I opted for this little stupid combo. The second Doctor, players have no maximum hand size. How civil of you. At the beginning of your end step, each player may draw a card. Each opponent who does can't attack you or your permanents you control during the next turn. It was very uh super friend, super hug deck, right? Everyone gets a don't hurt me and you get benefits. Oh god, it worked out like a charm. Um and then Jane McCrimmon I would use as my partner. I tried using Layla, Leela, 17 Warrior, because whenever an opponent draws their, except the first time they draw on each of their draw steps, um, but it's at your end step. So if there was ways to make people draw more, I could boost her up. But with him, whenever you cast a Historic Spell, Jane McCrimmon gets X plus X until end of turn, where X is that spell's mana value. So I would just gas everyone up with the second Doctor, and then about 3 or 4 turns, once I got about 10 mana, it's about turn 10, I would just start vomiting up historic spells to boost his power level. I'm pretty sure I put him in my Jodah Legendary Cascade deck, because you cast the Legendary, it causes the thing. So like half the spells you shuffle out each turn will trigger his ability. And then I would just swing. And because he's partnered with the commander, there were turns he was swinging like 10 commander damage. It was beautiful. It was gross. I loved it. Some people I've heard some complaints. They had a hard time making this deck work. Like, I could see buying this deck and then tweaking out cards. Like, Susan Foreman. She's like a Llanowar elf, like, a more expensive one. But if you would planeswalk instead, look at right, she triggers a planeswalk ability. But worst case, she's still just a forest, right? Was it Perry Brown? Yeah, the first historic spell you cast each turn is Convoke, right? So there's a lot of historic spells in here. Where is she? Is it no, not Joe? Whenever you cycle a card, each historic card in your hand is cycling 3. So you can do there's some cycling in here. There's a lot of little, like each saga spell you cast is replicate. The replicate cost is equal to its mana cost, right? There's several sagas. Dugan, you can't use him as a commander, but it was really fun. I cracked him out. Power and toughness are equal to the number of cards in your hand, right? He became he was like a 26/26 one turn. It was gross. It was so gross. I loved it. Barbara Wright. Sagas have read ahead. Where is... You sacrifice an artifact with +1/+1 counter. So that's like the tokens again, the clue and whatever. Eighth Doctor was really neat. I thought about running him. When he enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards. Once during each of your turns, you play a historic or land card. So it was more about just the historic cards. This deck as a whole, I guess, with its greater theme. But they all deal with them differently, and it kind of gets down to a weird... What's the word? You could break this deck up into 4 decks, and they'd be much more efficient. You can focus just on the historic token, or just on the sagas. Like a couple that do a sagas, I want to throw in a Tom Bombadil deck, right? Eighth Doctor, very much just replaying. If you just want to be able to cast from your graveyard endlessly, which was getting kind of gross. Not endlessly, but you have to exile the cards at the end. But it was there was a lot of ways to play this deck, and I kept swapping out. I kept finding different combinations. In the end, Jane McCrimmon and the second Doctor fits my playstyle the best, and that's the cool part with this deck, like just mechanically. When against the other 4, it's right in the thick of it with them. No muss, no fuss. It was the most I interacted with the planes outside of rolling as well. That was one thing that was really interesting with this one. Now, if we want to go with prices, Currently, the cheapest plane is the TARDIS Bay at 48 cents. The rest are hanging around 98 to a dollar. The biggest one's the displaced dinosaurs for some reason. Well, yeah, it makes sense, but it makes more sense given, each historic Prometheus battlefield and controller becomes a 7/7 dinosaur creature. So if you have like legendary dinosaur deck that's coming out here, we're going back to Ixalan, so I think that's why it's driving this one up. Because it's a 7-drop, it's expensive. Heroic Intervention, which this card in Extended Etch, or Surge, not Etch, is one of those beautiful cards I've ever seen in my life. City of Death, yeah, it makes sense. 3 visits, yeah. So value-wise, 74 in box, you can get it for 50, you've made bank. And that's a recurring theme with all of them. If you can get it for less than that, like I picked them up, I think I paid like 47 for each one because my shop cut me a deal because I bought all 4, right? Like, $5 off or something piddly. But yeah, this deck, it slaps. I have fun. It could be a deck that you just buy and, take half out or something. Buy it for singles. Or if you just want the singles, right? A lot of these cards aren't too expensive. Yeah, because it's like the overgrown farmland. So a lot of it's reprints, like the heroic intervention, right? But like the City of Death and Displaced Dinosaur is the most expensive. But yeah, again, this deck slaps. I had a good time. I had fun with Plane Chase or without Plane Chase. It's a good time. And with that, I thank you for watching, and you have a good day.